Anybody ready for a revolution? Anybody ready for a revolution? Anybody ready for a revolution? Anybody ready for a revolution?
You are now tuned in to the Revolution Radio Show. Hey, you know what it is and what it do. You're officially listening to the Revolution Radio Show right here live on GH3 Radio, powered by Dash Radio. As always, I'm your man, J Love, aka Uncle Jiggy, aka COVID positive.
Oh, do we get to talk about that?
We might briefly, because we have a guest. But as always, I'm joined by the statesman himself, Mr. Farhan. How you doing, sir?
I'm COVID free. I can tell you that much.
Look, I promise you, we're going to have an episode where we're going to discuss this because we're going to talk all things New Year, all things, all of that. But we wanted to kick it off with an amazing guest. Lillian couldn't be with us because for those of you who are in the Southern California area, you know we've been having torrential, at least for California. Now, I've lived in other parts of the country, and they would laugh at this. But for Southern California, these are torrential storms, ladies and gentlemen. And people don't know how to drive whatsoever. I'm not saying Lillian doesn't know how to drive, but allegedly somebody where she's at don't. So she got stuck. She called. She was like, hey, guys, I'm sorry. So we're going to go ahead and keep pushing without her. We got a special guest. I do have to say this, though. I need to laugh at myself, as we do often on this show. We laugh at my expense. But when I first got the call for this particular guest, I thought it was somebody else. I had it confused with somebody else. And so I thought it was going to be Miss Jackson, the one that used to date Nelly and Floyd Mayweather, right? And I was like, okay, that's cool. I don't know what we're going to talk to her about because I'm not sure. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not sure what she offers the world other than dating people. She's a lovely girl. I'm sure she got plenty of gifts. I don't know what they are. You know what I mean? And so at first, you can't listen, man. It's not my fault. Okay, I don't know that. The only other Miss Jackson I knew was Janet. Okay, so
at least it's not the one from the song.
You know. So, and then when I got corrected, I was like, oh, okay. So we got something real nice. So I'm gonna go ahead and bring her in. So, ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, she is an author. She is a philanthropist. She does many, many things. She coming straight out the great state of Texas. Texas. Show some love, y'all. You got to show some love. Hold on. Where's my horn? I don't have my horn.
Oh,
anyway, bam, 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 bam. Show some love for the one and the only Miss Mel Jackson, ladies and gentlemen. How you doing today? How you doing today?
I'm doing well. How you guys doing today?
We are doing fantastic. So you obviously are not Miss Jackson. You didn't used to date Mayweather, right? Or
no,
Nelly?
Not a chance. No.
You're not the Miss Jackson from the song with Andre 3000 in there, are you?
No, I'm not that one either.
Okay. All right. Okay, as long as we got it figured out, it's okay. But we're glad to have you on the show. I'm excited. I know we got a lot of synergy, a lot of things in common. You got some really great things going on. I want to jump right in. So, well, first of all, thank you for, I know that in Texas, they don't like to let women do very many things. I'm sorry, did I say that?
What?
Don't they try to shut women down in Texas? No, that's not.
I mean, I'm doing a lot of things, so I can't really say that that's true.
Miss Jackson, hold on. Can you please give the disclaimer before you start talking again, man?
My bad. I forgot I have to give this disclaimer before every show. Apparently, ladies and gentlemen, sometimes I say things that might be a little bit ridiculous. I don't know. I have no problems with the things that I say. But just in case some of the things that I say might rub some folks the wrong way, the thoughts and the opinions expressed on this show aren't necessarily the thoughts and the opinions expressed by either GH3 Radio or Dash Radio. Now, for Ron, on the other hand, Farhan is our he's our in-house Black Republican.
Wow. All lies.
Farhan is with the police. He's with the military. Well, I'm with the military too. But Farhan has he has friends named Karen, all of that. So you know what I mean? I'm on the other hand, I'm over here with Nat Turner trying to start revolutions and light things on fire.
with a white car.
And I love, for the record, I love the state of Texas. I grew up in Houston. I'm the last generation of little chocolate kids that was bused to school on the piece of paper they sent my mama. I said a colored quota. Okay. So I'm colored. I'm more black than the rest of y'all because I'm colored. That's what they put on the thing. So Miss Jackson, you from the great state of Texas, where they still got plantations.
Yeah, somewhere.
They still, it's called Huntsville.
Hidden.
It's called Huntsville.
Away from me.
I know there's a bunch of things we want to talk about, but I know, first of all, I want to ask you about, you got a book. Can you tell us about your book?
Yes, my book, Blessings in Broken Places. If you guys
Hey, hold on. Here we go.
There it is, Blessings in Broken Places. It is my first memoir of hopefully a few. It is a self-help workbook, and it is the story of my life. I've given my real life experiences to inspire the masses. Yeah.
No.
You know what? And I hate to do, see, I'm already starting off on the wrong foot. It's actually not the wrong foot, it's the right foot. But here's what I want to do. I want to dive into that because I know there's a deeper story to this book. Yes. But what we got to do is we're going to play some music real quick because apparently this is a radio station. So we going to play some music real quick.
We getting started early.
Then we're going to come back. And then we're going to get right into this book right here on the Revolution Radio Show on GH3, powered by Dash. Yo, welcome back. If you just tuning in, you listening live, this is the Revolution Radio Show right here on GH3 Radio, powered by Dash. It's your man, J Love, Farron. And we got Miss Jackson in the building, Mel Jackson. She's an author and a philanthropist and many other things, a woman of God. She's telling us about her book. And so can you, again, is brokenness in... Or tell me again. Blessings in broken places.
Yep.
Don't. I got ADD, onset dementia, early dementia, all kinds of things. Maybe? There it is. Blessings in broken places. What was your, because I know you were telling me off the air, but what was your inspiration for this particular? Because I think people would really be, for lack of a better word, surprised maybe to understand where this came from.
A lot of different things, just life experiences. What pushed me to actually finish the book after 9 years of writing it was God just told me it was now, during the time of a pandemic when the world is broken. A lot of people are living in a broken state. And so he released me to do it now because blessings in broken places, people need a little bit of joy in the midst of all the broken places that we've experienced.
Wow.
Since COVID began. So, hey, it's been a little joy.
I appreciate it when I read your information because I too have been on that journey about 10 years now. So what was, what do you want to say about the broken places? Because that's where it starts.
It does. The broken places they build. They build character. They build perseverance. They build resistance. It is the place where you truly have to sit and become one with who you are. It's the place where God reveals. It's the place where he restores. It's the place where he exposes. It's the place where he takes or replaces, removes and replaces, because I don't like to say God take. They say God, the Lord gives and he takes away, but God gives because he's good. He adds.
Okay, girl, go ahead and preach.
Adds, you know what I'm saying? And so I would like to say he removes and replaces. He replenishes life with the things that he desires, so that he can steer you down the path that will give way to what will move the masses for his glory. So yeah.
How far back age-wise did you go to the broken places?
I went far back. I went as far back as childhood. I went as far back as I touched on a little bit about, in telling the story. Just I had to start at certain places in order to be able to tell bits and pieces of the story. But probably 7-8 years old.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, I know you had shared with me that because we had shared that we have in common that we were both, and I'm careful how I word this because I want to be respectful to people who have endured this, but I call it secondhand domestic violence survivors, meaning we were in the home. Yeah. Even though my stepfather was abusive to me, I don't consider myself to have been abused just because in my weird mentality, the way we were raised, right? Our generation, every kid gets beat.
Yeah.
So I felt that was normal.
Yeah.
But watching my mother be abused for a number of years and just a lot of that trauma that I dealt with. And I know you had a very traumatic experience that is a big key to this. Do you mind sharing that?
So for me, my mom was a victim of domestic violence. By the grace of God, she made it out to the other side of it. My little sister, who is 25 now, was there. She was 6 at the time, and so she experienced my mom being beaten at gunpoint by her dad. But in 2019, on June the 8th, I lost my big sister. She'd really been my friend since I was 14, but friend turned big sister. She was my go-to. Whenever something was wrong, or she always had my back. You know what I mean? It was big sister. I was the person that was on her credit cards, and we shared a lot of personal things. And so I lost her June 8th of 2019. We had just spent the entire week together, which is something that we normally didn't do. We talked every day for the most part, but we normally wouldn't spend like every day of a week together. And the night that she passed away, we had just come from the casino hanging out. And so I dropped her off to her car, and 30 minutes later, I never saw her again. And then on top of that, her abuser, who was her husband at the time, he took her life, but then he took his own after being on a standoff with the police for about 8 hours. But the thing about it is that after he took her life, he called me to explain to me, or to express how deeply she loved and cared for me. And her daughter, who was 26 with 2 children, and his daughter had to escape from the house in the midst of what was going on. And so it was the most traumatic thing I've ever experienced in my life. So that, and then backdoor it with the pandemic. And then in the midst of the pandemic, I lost my grandmother, who raised me 9 months after I lost my sister. You know what I'm saying? It kind of gives you an outlook and a perspective to say, okay, God, why not now? You know what I mean?
Where in the world did you find, because I know people are going to wonder, how did you go back to back to back like this? Your grandmother, the pandemic, how did you go through these things and have the ability to smile right now?
Grace. Grace is sufficient. I am a living, walking testimony. It doesn't matter so much what I've been through. It matters more how people see me on the other side, how people see me rise above what I've been through.
Wow, that's good.
So everybody wants to sip the tea. Everybody wants the tea. And
say it, girl.
I believe in pouring tea that's soothing to the soul. Everybody wants to sip the tea that disrupts the process of growth. Well, I want to pour the tea for people to sip that enhances and nourishes the growth process, because it's heavy. When people go through things, it's heavy. I've spent a lot of nights alone, because even if you have people right next to you in the same room with you, pain is something that you have to battle alone. Nobody can eat. It's individual. You know what I'm saying? And so God's grace is sufficient. His mercy it endures forever, and he will truly give you beauty for ashes. And I am the result of his beauty for ashes. Yeah.
Wow. I know, Farhan, you want to jump in right now, but let's do this. Let's take another break real quick. Then we'll come back. Farhan, you jump right in as soon as we come back. You're listening to the Revolution Radio Show right here on GH3 Radio, powered by Dad. Welcome back. If you're just tuning in, this is actually one of our best interviews that we've had. We have Mel Jackson on the show with us today, ladies and gentlemen. And Farhan, I know you had some things. She was just telling us about what she had went through in the last couple of years, and I know you wanted to kind of follow up on that.
Yeah, no. Like I said, the relatability as far as her experiences. If we be honest with ourselves, we can look in our life as what it is to lose a loved one, to lose friends, and so again, our relationship to death is so important on how we manage that and how we release that as well. For your book, like what ages would you recommend to read your passages?
To be honest with you, I know a lot of people don't really like for their children, like small children, to live in a place where you are speaking from a place of blessings, and the broken part kind of makes people want to shy away when you're dealing with small children. You know what I'm saying? But because it's a workbook, and because I talk about, so if I outline to you my chapters in my book, the chapters in my book aren't like regular chapters. So when you look at my book, and I wanted it to be different. And so God gave me a vision that instead of doing it regular chapters, it's, I've labeled them distractions. So there's the distraction of abuse, loss, pain, self-acceptance, forgiveness. And so I really feel like kids, that as long as they're old enough to understand,
Wow.
then it's something that can be beneficial, because in the questions, if I, and I know a lot, I know most of, well, I know all of this by heart real clearly because I wrote the book. I wrote the entire book. Literally, I typed every single bit of it. I
Wow.
didn't have a ghostwriter. I literally typed every bit. But when you look at the first chapter and it talks about abuse, I'm walking you through the abuse that I suffered, the sexual advances that were made at me by my stepdad at the time. And
Wow.
so I asked the question, what do you consider to be abuse? Well, a 5-year-old needs to know how to identify abuse. It's
Yeah.
something we don't like to talk about, and especially in the African American community, because it's like what happens in this house stays in this house. The other
Right.
thing we don't like to talk about is that therapists are very much needed. I have one. I've had one for 3 years. And that is the other thing that God graced me with, because I had the therapist before I lost my grandmother or my sister. But had I not had an outlet that I could be really raw with and walk in there and just lay it all out without having fear of judgment or you giving me your constructive criticism or your opinion, then I may be in a different space. But he graced me with everything that I needed in order to be where I am. And my
Wow.
smile is genuine. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
yeah.
And I'm glad you said that, because in my journey, kind of parallel to yours, we have to let parents know or remember when they were children that 5-year-old brain is developing, and
Yeah.
it is giving meaning to life and making decisions. And if we don't feed it the proper information or the truth at the time, even at the level of a child, so when that child reflects, that they say, oh yeah, that's right, my mom said this about that, or they said this. But if we try to pretend and protect them so that they don't go through what we went through, that doesn't work. And I believe that that's some of the cycles that we get to break in having these kind of conversations, so people understand the value and the mindset of that child, whether he's 5 or 6 or 8 or 10 or 12,
Yeah.
that you've got to give that child the truth as much as possible, so that they already have that in their hearts to reflect from. So I appreciate you saying that.
You're welcome. Yeah.
Well, I think this book is phenomenal, but I know we had also talked about some other things, like matter of fact, kind of coinciding with that particular incident. I know you and I had discussed some of the plans that you have with regards to the future. Can you tell us about like one of those things which has to do with dealing with domestic violence?
Yeah, so it is my desire. One thing that I've been working on is creating a community for victims of domestic violence. And everybody, the first thing they think is women, but men get abused too. Sometimes men need to start over because
Tell
there's some
her,
crazy women out here. I ain't
tell
one,
her,
but it's some crazy women
tell
out here.
her.
You know what I mean? And so I want to create a community or multiple communities where people that are coming out of domestic situations can be safe. They would definitely have to qualify for the program so that we can know that they're serious about moving forward. And then we assist them with the resources of being able to live in gated communities, to purchase homes for them and
Wow,
their children so
that's
that they
deep
can
right
start
there.
over. But we're teaching you financial literacy. We're teaching you how to properly prepare if you don't, if you want to go to school, we'll assist you with how to get started with that. If you have never worked because you were a stay-at-home mom or a stay-at-home dad, then we want to assist you with getting out into the workforce. Just helping you with your credit repair if you're not in a position to buy because of your credit. So just assisting people and helping them feel safe first, and then giving them an outlet to rebuild second.
Yo, that is absolutely powerful. I think, especially oftentimes when you think of shelters or things of that nature, they're always like, I don't even want to say second hand. They're like third and fourth hand. And for you to provide a situation where not only they could have temporary, but potentially long-term housing, which is, oftentimes, a lot of women leave with just the bags they were able to throw in the car or get away with. That's an amazing thing.
Yeah.
So I love the fact that everything that you're doing is so amazing. And literally, the Bible says that you've done unto the least of mine, you've done unto me. So you're definitely serving God. You're definitely serving Yeshua, and you're doing God's work. But I know you are a lot of fun and you're hilarious. So this is what we're going to do. We're going to play some songs. Then we're going to come. I can't show y'all. She be twerking off. I can't be showing y'all. In the name of Jesus. She twerks in the name of Jesus. So don't trip. But We're gonna play some songs.
If you see this interview, don't believe that.
Then we're gonna come back
The Holy Ghost.
and we're gonna get into some fun, random conversations about nothing right here on the Revolution Radio Show on GH3 Radio, powered by Dash.
Peace.
Hey, you know what it is. It's the Revolution Radio Show. It's your man's Uncle Jiggy, and we here with Miss Jackson. We here with Mel Jackson. You know what I mean? So Miss Jackson, I got a couple questions for you.
Yes.
Being that you from the state of Texas,
yes.
Here's what I need to know. Because I haven't been in many years.
Yes.
Is it true that everybody is crazy in Texas right now? I need to know.
I think I'm pretty sane. What do you think?
Okay, I'm just asking because I ain't been to Texas in a while. You know,
everybody ain't saved.
You know, because I heard like, look, listen, I can't touch on it too much. It's top secret, but allegedly, you know, right now your boy is recovering from the Omarion. You know what I'm saying? I joined.
Where are you now?
Hey.
Transformers.
Okay, allegedly. I don't know what they.
What do you mean allegedly? What do you mean allegedly?
What's the allegedly?
Look, don't put my business in the streets, man. Listen. So
wait. All those episodes that we've done.
Listen, man. Look, I'm double vaxxed. I got the booster. You know what I'm saying? But Omarion was like, "Yo, you need to join B2K." He was like, "Bam, bam, bam." You know what I mean?
No way.
Okay. And so I didn't know. I was like, did I drive through Texas without a mask? I don't know what's happening because I don't know what happened.
I'm safe and sound in Texas. Listen, I'm doing okay. I do have some staff members that actually have contracted COVID. I do have a couple of family members. I have not been around those people. I was actually supposed to be around all of them at some point over this break thus far. And, you know, something about the power of the Holy Ghost check. Something came up. And then I turned around. They had COVID. And, you know, I won't be going anywhere for the new year. I will be home.
Okay. So I have a very important question. Okay. This one's really important. My man Ferran is an eligible bachelor. So I'm trying to figure out, is there some sisters in Texas, in the state of Texas, that wouldn't mind hanging out with, you know, we might be auctioning off a date with a veteran.
Oh, hell.
You know what I'm saying?
I'm sorry, Miss Jackson. I'm sorry, Miss Jackson.
It's all good. I have a few single friends, you know, I mean.
I'm just, look, ladies, he a homeowner. You know, I'm gonna give you credentials. You gotta, you know what I'm saying? You gotta let them know. Nowadays, you know what I'm saying? Look, he got a nice car. I know that's what y'all care about. He got a nice car. You know what I'm saying? He got a nice motorcycle.
I am unavailable.
On the back of the motorcycle. You know what I'm saying?
He's out of touch.
He's working on getting his 19-year-old Army body back.
Yeah, that's
you know
true.
What I'm saying?
Now that's true.
So I'm just saying, my man, you know what I'm saying? I think 2022 is the year we're going to get Ferran to settle down. We're going to get him wiped up. You know what I'm saying? And then that way, by the time it comes around 2024, he could go and campaign for his man Trump. So it'll be all right.
That's your whole lead in.
That's the whole speech.
So
that's what he was building up to.
Yeah.
So okay, let me ask a serious question then, Miss Jackson. Moving forward, what do you foresee? We're about to step into. I really believe. I know every year we get to the new year and everyone, you know, has these feelings of rebirth and resolutions and all these things. But do you foresee 2022 really being something fresh, or do you think it's just going to kind of just continue the same pattern that we've been in the last 18 to 22 months or so?
So I posted something on Instagram earlier, and I post a prayer normally on my Insta story. And so today my prayer was, as 2021 comes to an end, I pray that we would do away with resolutions and change becomes a lifestyle. So according to Romans 12:2, right? So to answer that question, I think that it all depends on the person. I think that it's all individual. I think that it will depend on what people really want out of life, what people really want out of the future, and how serious people are about setting goals and pursuing them at all costs is what I think will determine how 2022 pans out. Every every day is a fresh start. You know what I'm saying? Not just the beginning of a new year. Every day that I wake up and I am in my right mind and able body and able to, graced with the ability to help people, graced with the ability to serve and to inspire, to walk the path that God has laid before me, I feel is a new year. You know what I'm saying?
Wow, wow,
Every
no,
day.
that's heavy.
I think that people put too much emphasis on starting over at the beginning of the year versus waking up. And if you were in the midst of turmoil yesterday, you can start your year over today if he's graced you with the ability to be able to have a fresh start that day.
I want to ask you, because I've been through my childhood in the healing process. Like I said, I've been in that in like about 10 years myself. With everything that's going on with mental health, right? And you saying that the therapist is valuable. Like we talk about those things,
Yeah.
but what do you want to say to our generation so that we could start to seek that kind of support so that our children can start to get that support early on so they're not in their 40s like I was trying to figure out what was going on with my life. So what do you want to say about that part of that?
I would like to say to this generation, we need to spend more time talking. A lot of the younger generation that has children, they spend a lot of time talking, but in from a standpoint of being their kids' friends. We need to spend more time talking about real life issues. I hate to say it, but the Caucasian people, they prep their kids a lot of times really early
Oh,
because
they do. They do.
Johnny already knows what it means to budget and to save and he already knows the importance of his credit. You know what I'm saying? They
Yeah.
have done a very good job of grooming Emily to, have the future that she has been, desiring since she was 2 years old playing with baby dolls and, Barbie and Ken. You know what I'm
And,
saying?
and Johnny has a therapist. So if Johnny does anything that happens in public, Johnny is, oh, no, no, no. He's got a therapist. He's already got,
Absolutely.
oh, so he's early on protected with
He's
what
early on
his
protected.
mental health status. So we don't get our support late in the game until you might go to jail. And then you got
Yeah.
to sit there at that place and try to figure out what the heck was going on in my life. So again, that stuff is so important that we discount how valuable that those systems of care. And I believe that we all have a level of mental toughness. So
Yeah.
if you can just even pull from that in your mental health, like
Yeah.
that's like the precursor for me. It's like we all have a level of mental toughness. Like pull from that to get that, extra care for yourself.
And it's funny that you say that because I was just talking. I had a meeting with my therapist today, and we did it via telehealth, which I normally because she'd rather me come in, but I go once a week to my therapist. And my friends and my family would tell you I'm an advocate for therapy. Some of them that really didn't believe in therapy are now in therapy, and they have
There it
become
is.
advocates for therapy. I'm like, y'all all need to be laying on somebody's couch talking about your situation.
Hey, I done been to therapy.
And it works. And the thing about it is her and I were talking today, and I told her, I said, in anything I go through in life, there's a few things that I've been through that I pull from in order to get through. And when I start to pull from that, there's no stopping me. I lost my daughter at 21. She was stillborn. Went through the whole birthing process and all of these things. She was stillborn. And then you turn around, and I've been through some heartbreaks here and there, you know what I mean? But then you turn around and I lose my sister tragically. And then I turn around and I lose my grandmother. You know what I'm saying? Within a 9-month time span. And so I was just telling her today that you're in a safe place with me. And you know how they say, the enemy, he's always busy. You know, he can only go so far and even people, because one thing about me, I have conversations with myself in the mirror. So you're in a safe space, whether you're a friend that I've given you multiple chances to be who you need to be, whether it's a relationship, you're in a very safe space with me until I stand in that mirror and I begin to have those conversations with myself. Because when I begin to pull from that, it empowers me in a way that is unstoppable. You know what I'm saying? It empowered me in a way that allowed me to be sitting in the midst of pain and finish a book in 6 weeks. It empowers me because what I say to myself is, if I was able to make it through that, then I can make it through this. If God didn't fail me there, he's not going to fail me here, because I thought I would lose my mind, but I'm still sane.
Right.
So that proves that I'm more than a conqueror. So yeah.
Well,
I
look,
appreciate that.
I really wish we could sit here and talk to you all day. You are absolutely fantastic. But listen, y'all need to go check Miss Jackson out. Everyone's on Instagram. If you can't see it, for those of you listening, she's at Instagram at the Mel Jackson. You need to go check her out. Cop the book, get anything that she's doing, y'all. You know what it is. I ain't never, I might be crazy, but I ain't never gonna lie to you. So with that being said, we got to get out of here today. But make sure, again, Instagram at the Mel Jackson. She's the Mel Jackson on all social media. You can find her everywhere. As always, I got to remind y'all, if I said anything that was a little bit ridiculous, just remember, you know what I'm saying? The thoughts and views expressed on this show by Farron are not necessarily.
I got a lot of stuff to edit out.
that by GH3 Radio or Dash Radio. But with that, I got to remind y'all, as always, as we step into this new year, this new chapter, this new season, reach for your best, reach for success. But most of all, reach for God, because God is love and love is everything, man. We'll see y'all next week, God willing. Peace.
Happy holidays.
Anybody ready for a revolution? Anybody ready for a revolution? Anybody ready for a revolution? Anybody ready for a revolution?
You are now tuned in to the Revolution Radio Show.